Oh, man, it's an exciting time to be in Disciple, man. We got the new album out, Attack. The new single, Radical, is doing very well. How have things been going for you lately?
Oh, man. Whirlwind. Just crazy. I'm surprised that sleep is part of my life right now.
I bet, man. The Radical has done so well. It debuted, started at like number 20 and jumped to number 3. I mean, Attack is being very well received by fans. Much like pretty much every other Disciple album has been. With Attack, what were you guys looking to do when it came time to sit down and finally write another record and go into this one?
You know, we didn't really have a mentality of doing anything different. Like every member of the band except for me is a new member, and so this was their first album. Writing together. They like to call themselves Disciple 3.0 because they're the third version of the band members. You'd think that we've been through more members than that, but it's actually only the third. When we were writing together, we sat down. We weren't really intentional about anything really. We just, it was four different guys, four different writers that were just writing whatever we thought were good songs. And then we'd sit down and write the lyrics, and we were very open and honest with each other, and we would talk to each other about what we thought could be improved and, could be better, lyrically or musically, and the album was just what happened, and it was really, really cool. And we've been working so well together. Normally, in the past, we write an album and we'd just be exhausted and tired, and I would want to go write a book or play video games for 6 months or something, just anything else.
Yeah.
But, we just kind of continued on. The albums come out, and I had a band member send me a demo yesterday. A band member sent me another demo like 3 days ago, and then somebody sent me another demo last week. So it's just like we're just excited and motivated and inspired, and God is speaking to us, and and the music is just flowing right now. So we're in a really good place, man.
Nice. Like you said, besides yourself, everybody's new. There's some new guys in the band, another lineup change. Sometimes the lineup change can be tough, and the music sounds very different. But this record, Attack, is very Disciple. If you didn't know, you almost wouldn't even know that there's some new guys in the band.
Thanks.
Yeah, it has that Disciple sound. Was it tough going into the record, writing with some new members, or was it just natural like it always has been?
No, I think the guys have all come from different backgrounds, and knowing like Josiah, came from the band Philmont, and he is a phenomenal songwriter. He's so good, and when you're learning about a guy and his songs, he wrote a lot of songs, for the album, and some of the first songs that he was writing, sounded a little. I don't even know what the word is, but he started writing some songs that sounded very post-hardcore, and I would say post-hardcore for me would be bands like Story of the Year. Any of those, cool bands in like 2005, Blindside, Story of the Year, whatever. So he's writing some things like that, and I said, I felt like this was where his strengths laid, and so I just encouraged him to focus there, and he really reached into that area of where he was good at, and just kind of like came up with some really, really cool music. Like, so he wrote the music for Attack and wrote the music for The Name, and Scarlet, so those are all, they came from those places of just like, really honing in on where his strengths were. Andrew Stanton is another guitar player who's from the band I Am Empire, and he wrote music on songs like Crazy and Angels and Demons, and you can really, he has more in common with our original guitar player Brad Noah. You can really hear a lot of those same influences. They both love like 80s hair metal bands, and all those old riffs that and whether we'll admit it or not, when they come on, we love them. You know,
Right.
and he's just a fan of those types of guitar riffs and solos, and it's just so awesome to have him play on the album and do those things. And Jason is the lead singer of High Flying Society, and he comes from a more I guess like Muse or the Killers type background. It's like very modern and fresh, and so whenever you hear his influence, you're going to hear songs like Dead Militia, you're going to hear songs like Lion, and anytime he's got an influence going on that. So it's just, we all just came from these different places, and then whenever I get involved in a song and I'm writing a song, it's either going to sound like Radical or Yesterday Is Over, because I do two things. I write songs that sound like Radical, The Way Is Over, and then slow songs like After the World and Yesterday Is Over. So I mean that's where my strengths lie. And so when you put all those songs together and all those different offerings from each individual, and they didn't seem like they were fighting each other. They seemed to blend very well, and that's what you got with the new album. So
nice. Yeah, I mean, you with Disciple all the time, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into when you pick up a Disciple album. There's not a you're going to hear a Disciple record when you buy it, when you pick that thing up. I mean, there's going to be some differences here and there, but all in all, it's Disciple. And I got into you guys. I got into you guys late, probably around Horseshoes and Hand Grenades was the first time I saw you, and been hooked ever since. And I went back through the catalog and went and got everything else. And so,
thank you.
Yes, the first time I saw you guys, and this is going to lead into my next question, was in 2011 in Illinois at an Ignite festival. And you guys were playing a 3-day festival. Another band that was on that festival you guys are on tour with right now, Project 86.
Yes.
Yes. Awesome band. Love that band. How is that tour going for you guys? You guys have both been in the game for so long.
Yes, wonderful. Andrew from Project is one of my dearest friends. We've actually played fantasy football together for years, and so we actually selfishly try to go on tour with each other just so we get to hang out.
Nice.
Even last night we've had this fun little game that I made up where. Like Cody is the bass player for Project 86. He's also the bass player for a band called The Wedding, if you're familiar with them. And so my goal last night was for Dustin and Cody, Dustin the guitar player for Project, was to just play a song off of my music library, and if I could get a reaction out of them, like they were excited to hear it, then I would get a point. If I could get a reaction, like they're excited to hear it and they started singing along with it, then I would get a point. We literally stayed up till like 5 o'clock in the morning doing that, and so we have a good time together, man. It's great being on tour with those guys.
Nice, man. You guys are doing the Winter Jam fall tour next month. I mean, that's a very eclectic tour. You got a little bit of every style of music. I mean, you guys have toured with a lot of bands who have played that tour. You guys are friends with a lot of bands who have played that tour. Have you talked to any of them to see what to expect, and what can we expect to see from Disciple when it comes to this one?
Winter Jam you're talking about?
Yes, Winter Jam.
It's just a bigger show for us, when most of the venues that we play are smaller, and so, this show you'll see, you got big screens up on the, hanging up way high up in the air, and you're going to have some special video content that Disciple fans will have never seen, with songs like Dear X and songs like Radical.
Okay.
So if you were to come see us anywhere else, you're not going to see that show.
Okay.
And so we're going to have a lot of other little tricks and things going on stage that in a small room you shouldn't do it. But in a big arena, you got the freedom to kind of have some fun and do some things that we don't normally do. So we're pretty excited about it.
Nice, yeah. I've been to that tour probably about 4 times. I think 2014 was the first year I wasn't able to do because I was actually covering Stryper the same night they were in Winter Jam was here, so I had to decide Winter Jam or Stryper.
Oh, That just sounds awful. You were really suffering for Jesus out there.
It was a really, really tough decision.
Yeah, having to cover one of the greatest bands of all time. I feel really sorry for you.
But it's going to be cool to see Disciple on that tour because, like, I know exactly what that tour brings, and it's going to be cool to see Disciple playing the arena, doing an arena tour, and having all that stuff in the repertoire that you can use. Is going to be so awesome to see. And so I got to ask, I saw you. This is just a personal question of mine. In 2011, I saw you on tour with Skillet and Manifest, and you did something at one of the days. I don't know if you did it on any of the others, but it was so cool to see. You actually performed an acoustic set of really old Skillet songs on stage.
You saw us on the last tour of the last show of the tour. Yeah, okay.
I did. What was that like for you to do that? Was that something you planned ahead of time, or was that kind of a spur of the moment thing? Because that was.
I planned it a couple days ahead. I talked to John about it. John from Skillet, and wanted to make sure he was okay with it because I took a little time doing it. But normally the last show of the tour, everybody pranks each other.
Yes.
And it's just so stinking annoying when people are pranking each other. I hate it because it's funny, but gosh, man, I mean, like, if you're around a bunch of basically grown-up teenagers like I am all the time, then no one ever knows when to quit. So prank night is always really annoying. So I thought of like doing something a little different. Instead of like pranking Skillet, I thought of like doing it in a different way, like maybe honoring them in a different way, like with, hey, these are the songs that I love from Skillet, that they never play, so I'm gonna play them. And also, most Skillet fans, yes, I'm accusing you. They only know like the last 3 albums. They don't know like
they don't know the self-titled or Invincible.
They don't know the old stuff.
Yes, Saturn.
They don't know the old stuff that has hooks in my heart still.
Yes.
So it was cool for me to do.
I was like a kid in a candy store that night because not only was I seeing you guys again and then Manifest and Skillet, I got to hear the old Skillet stuff that I never thought I would ever see live. I was like, yes.
Right, for sure.
Yes.
I also told a really inappropriate joke during that set. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
I had a friend send me the video of it just so I could watch it and laugh my head off at it because I sang the song Saturn by Skillet, which has the lyrics says, Saturn has a ring around it, and I made a joke from the stage that, it's funny that he would pick Saturn. I was like, there's another planet, that has rings around it. Nobody ever writes any songs about Uranus, which
I do remember that. I do remember
which also has rings around it, And I feel like if you were to sing that, it would be very powerful to say that Uranus has a ring around it.
I do remember that now.
So it was very like a silent response, and then like laughter, and then lots of laughter. Like it was like people were like looking around at each other. Is it okay for me to laugh at this? I was like, yeah, it's okay. So they started laughing.
Man, I just had to ask about that because that was so cool to see, and I've always wanted to ask you about that because that's something you never see, and so it was cool to see.
Well, thanks, man. I'm glad you liked it. Well, yeah, and plus, all these bands out here, we like each other. I mean, there's obviously a little bit of competition, when you're on tour with a band and you want to do well and all that. But I really don't like that, and I try to not focus on that. And we're all really great friends, and we love each other. I love all the bands we've been on tour with. I really do, and so it's awesome.
It is, and it's cool to see Christian rock growing at the rapid pace that it is, and growing in popularity as well. Because maybe 10 years ago, it wasn't like this, where you would have a lot of Christian rock bands very popular, and maybe on a big arena tour like Winter Jam, you wouldn't have that 10, 15 years ago. So it is really cool to see that, and that popularity growing. So it's awesome to see. So after the project tour, after the Winter Jam Fall Tour, what can we expect from Disciple? Is there anything you can talk about that maybe is set or that we can look for from you, or is a lot of things kind of under wraps right now?
Well, we've been having some conversations about what we're going to do. I'll say something that we would like to do, but I don't know if we will or not. Something that we would like to do is we would like to record the B-sides for the Attack album.
Okay.
And put that out. So I don't know if we will or not, but it's something that we definitely want to do.
Okay.
And so that's conversations that we've been having. Because there's a lot of our hardcore fan base that loves hearing the songs that didn't make the record.
Yes.
And and we love recording them and playing them. So we're talking about it. We'll see what happens.
Awesome. Now I have to ask, you're doing the online Bible study right now, which it's so cool to see because so many Christian rock bands they talk about their faith and stuff like that, but they don't do stuff like this where they give fans a chance to do a Bible study with them and really go more in depth with it. How did that come about, and how's it going so far?
Well, we've always been a ministry band, or evangelistic, I guess, is a better way to say it. We see a lot of people receive Christ and pray with a lot of people to receive Christ at our shows, but we're very evangelistic in the fact that, or in the sense that we're there for one night and then we leave. Yeah. And so, I was trying to just, think of a way to connect, especially with those that, really feel, touched by God at a concert or become a Christian at one of our concerts. I felt like this would be a good way to connect with those people, and, their journey in their, in following Christ, to kind of like walk through it together. And it's a safe forum for people to come in and ask questions and say, what the heck does this mean? And then, to know that there's friends that they have that are going to come alongside of them and say, and help them, understand, the scriptures a little better. So yeah, that's where it came from, and quite honestly, no kidding aside, all fluff aside, like this is not me being nice. Like there are some guys and girls that get on there that just blow my mind. I did it, initially to try to help people learn more about the Bible, but come to find out, like I'm getting helped to learn more about the Bible. Like they're just these guys and girls get on there and they'll drop this knowledge. You'll get some girl in a Bible class who's taking Greek or something and just say, oh, here's what this word really means, and you're just like completely blown away and floored by what you're learning. So it's cool.
That's also one of the best things about Bible study, I think, is when you do it in a large group. There's always somebody that brings up a point that you never in a million years would have seen it that way. They understand it in a certain way, that translate it in a certain way. You're like, huh, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
So true.
It's really cool to see that, because I've done so many Bible studies and large group Bible studies over the last few years, and that's one reason I've always liked them, is because somebody always brings something up that is like refreshing or makes you understand things a different way. That's really cool. So yeah,
so true.
Yeah, so that is awesome. I love it. How often are the Bible studies happening? And for people out there listening who want to take part in it, how can people find them?
Yeah, they're at disciplerocks.com, and we change it up. Sometimes we'll be reading, a chapter of the Bible. Sometimes we'll, read a book. Right now we've been reading one New Testament chapter and then 2 Old Testament chapters once a week, and I just encourage people not to be intimidated by that. Just if you only want to do one, just do one. But right. Come hang out with us and join us, because definitely it's you can't help but learn, and also something that's been big on my heart this week about how the Bible talks a lot about the word washing us. And how, we would never think, spending our lives, without taking a shower, taking a bath. I mean, our body just naturally, through just being alive, just gets dirty and needs to be clean. And on a spiritual level, the things that we are around constantly, just kind of like infiltrate and get our spirits dirty. And the Word of God has that supernatural way of just cleansing us and getting us refocused and recentered and recalibrated, if you will, and getting our eyes, focused back on Jesus, where the world is, trying to distract us and take our focus completely off of Him. And so I definitely encourage people, whether our Bible study or whatever, to be intentional and purposeful about reading the Word of God, or buying a Bible app and letting it be read to you. I mean, we live in the 21st century. Like, you really don't even have to read the Bible anymore. You can literally let it be read to you.
Yeah.
Or find a band, that's full of lyrics, biblical lyrics, and just let those words just, literally wash over you, because we need that.
Definitely. It's really cool, like you said, 21st century. You don't even have to own a Bible anymore. You can just download one on your phone, and it's got every language and every translation. It's ridiculously insane, the technology that is out there for Bible study. So, Kevin, thank you so much for taking time to talk to me today. It's been awesome. I've loved it, and hopefully we can catch up again sometime soon. Good luck on the rest of the tour and the Winter Jam tour this fall. Hopefully we can catch you on one of these dates. So.
Come on, man! You got to. It's gonna be a show that we never do, and we're only gonna do it 9 times, and so it's gonna be fun. We're really excited about it. We're really excited about the different things that we're gonna be doing that I can't really say out loud, but we'll see.